Okay, we're going to touch on hiring contractors. It's a topic that a lot of homeowners, especially new homeowners, could need a little bit of help with. It's not as easy as you would think. There are a lot of scammers out there. You got to be careful who you're hiring. Always get at least 3 quotes, and you should not be charged for an estimate. If somebody wants to charge you for an estimate, it's probably worthwhile going in a different direction. Regarding the home show, if you go and see people there, we hired a contractor for the exterior painting on our brick last year. They did a good job. Exterior painting does have weather restrictions, but in the contract, I actually asked to have it done before June 30th. And it was getting pushed back a couple of times. And one of the dates was in July. And I happened to mention to him that in the contract, I want it done before the end of June. We had company coming in from out of town. We wanted this all complete, and it gets too hot in July to paint exterior brick. So once I brought that to his attention, we did get it done the week prior to June 30th, and everything worked out well. So you got to stick up for yourself. You got to be careful what you sign. You should not be putting any money up front. Make sure they get the job done, and when the job is done and it's satisfactory, then you pay for the job. A lot of times you don't know who you're dealing with. You want to make sure everything goes well, and that's not always the case. We've been trying to get an electrician in our house. We did have one do a couple of jobs, and he hasn't come back. So now we got to start knocking on some other doors, which we will. Terry, I know you as an investor have some issues that you've had to deal with some of your properties, and also you've had a major renovation at your own home. You want to touch on any of that?
Yeah, like basically the number one piece of advice I could give: ask for referrals. If you ask around, somebody's probably had some painting done, or they know a plumber, or go to your realtor, because a lot of times we deal with different contractors. So the number one thing is if you can get a referral, that's the best that's the best thing that you can do. All the guys that I have had, or all the people that I've had working in, have been referred to me by somebody. I do have my own people, but if there is something that's missing and I do need someone, I'll contact somebody and ask, who do you use and were you happy with them? So that's my best piece of advice. If you couldn't get a referral, then I would check their online, see if they have any references. I would actually ask for some references and see if I could contact them and see if the people were happy. That would probably be one of the things if I did not get a direct referral. I mean, it's kind of newsworthy that just a couple of weeks ago in Ottawa, there was a company that had a lot of people that paid and there was no work done. So I would say check them out. You can check online. But again, if number one piece of advice is see if you can get a referral, but don't be too quick to sign over a check before the work's been done.
A good point, Terry, too. There's also the Better Business Bureau you can check with, and talking about referrals for that exterior paint job that I was discussing earlier. We did actually ask for a couple of referrals, and we did go and check one out. We went to the home, and I actually knocked on the door and talked to the homeowner, and it was done a couple of years prior, and he had gave him a glowing review. Everything still looked good, so that made us feel much better when we were about to hire that contractor. So, very good point.
Yeah, because you go out there, you take a look, you talk to somebody that's actually dealt with the person, and if they have good things to say, that's good. But it's good for you for actually going out and checking the work a couple of years after to make sure it still looked good. The other thing, probably one of the important things, is when you get some quotes on a job, the cheapest is not always the best. Oftentimes it's not as good. So as the saying goes, you oftentimes get what you pay for. We had an example. We had our windows done. We had 3 quotes on it. We actually went with the highest quote, but he was the only one he explained what he was going to do. It was a bigger job, but in the end, it was a better job and it lasted a long time. So just be careful. If somebody's price seems really, really low, that could be a red flag too.
Yeah, you got to take a look at all aspects of the job. If you want it done, on the cheap and quick, a lot of times it doesn't get done properly, and you end up paying for it in the long run, or having to redo the job, or having somebody else come in, or making adjustments. So, as Terry mentioned, sometimes the cheapest quote is not the best. Sometimes it may be. It depends on the circumstance, but you got to do your homework. The one job that we had an accent wall done last summer. We did it ourselves actually, and we got some cultured stone. We shopped around at many places, and we went with not the cheapest place, but certainly not the most expensive either. And we went for convenience. We went for a place that we could get the stone that we wanted, and they had some in stock. And that was a very smart decision, because the more expensive place would have taken 6 to 8 weeks to get the stone in. And with it was a lot of angle cuts on our job, and we didn't realize that we were going to need an extra couple of boxes. And they always say to order 10% more. Well, we needed to order more than that. And we did need two extra boxes on top of what we ordered originally. So if we had gone with the more expensive place, we would have been waiting 6 to 8 weeks to get another two boxes in. Whereas we went with the most convenient place, which was a 5-10 minute drive away. They had it in stock. We were able to run over, grab a couple boxes, and continue with the job. So that actually saved us money, because we did rent a saw as well, and a wet saw. So that was a cost factor as well. So that was a matter of convenience, and we're happy with the job, and everything did work out well. And the place did take back some of the a partially open box, which worked out well as in the long run too.
Now, John, did you get referred to those people, or how'd you meet them?
No, that was just a matter of shopping around. We went to many places. We went to some specific places for cultured stone. We went to the big box places as well, and we shopped around. Just a little bit of homework. Talked about some to other people who had used these places, and were happy with some of the answers that we heard. And we thought, okay, we're going to make this decision here, and it did work out well.
Good for you, and it does look good, by the way.
Oh, thanks.